the children.
Parama
And a little
Bhakti.
excerpt that Gurudev had spoke about Varaha.
Uh-huh.
And that was.
I haven't read that yet
I
today.
read from the Nityananda book, a lot of pages.
Nityananda Dwadashakam?
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Beautiful.
Okay.
Because Kola means
Kola.
Kola Dweep. Kola means boar.
Oh yeah.
So Kola Dweep is the place where Varaha Dev appeared to his devotee Vasudev
Right.
in Satya Yuga.
And that's why we have that.
Yeah, the Varaha Shila.
Shield there.
Yeah.
But when I was reading it, Gurudev said Govardhan. What you call it?
Well, there's a Govardhan Shila as well. Shalagram, yeah. But right, because shalagrams have a whole bunch of types. Like the shalagram that Nishinga worshipped. I mean, the shalagram that Advaita Acharya worshipped when he was praying for Mahaprabhu is a Nishinga shalagram. So the one in the Mad in Navadvip is a shalagram shila, but it's a Varaha shalagram based on the markings. Jaya Mahaprabhu. So Koladip Dham is the place where the devotee received the blessing of Varahadev, who appeared before him. And Varaha told him at that time that this place is very special. That much later, the Lord will again appear in the same place. And Koladip is, each of the dweeps represents the 9 processes of devotion. And Koladip is Padasevanam. Padasevanam. Hare Krishna. Did you guys chant any kirtans already?
No.
Okay. Well, maybe I'm sorry I'm so late, but maybe we can sing the Dasharavatar Stotram. Just sit what's comfortable, Divya. Pralaya payodhi jale keshava dhritavanasi vedam Vihita Vahitra Charitra Makhedam Keshavadhrita Mena Sharira Jaya Jagadisha Hare Keshava Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jai Gaurchandra Mahaprabhu ki jai. Kshitide habe kola kesava usthate tava drishta dharani dhanaki chakra kharishta. 268. Koala.
Yeah.
268. Pralayapayodhi jale dhritavānasi vedam Vihitavahitra charitram khedam Pralayapayodhi jale dhritavānasi vedam Vihitavahitra charitram khedam Keshavadhrita Mina Sharira Keshavadhrita Mina Sharira Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Hari Keshavadhrita Mina Sharira Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Kritiriha Vipulatare Tishtati Tava Prishte Dharani Dharana Kina Chakra Gharishte Kritiriha Vipulatare Sati tava prishte Dharani dharana kina chakra gharishte Keshavadhrita kurma sharira Keshavadhrita kurma sharira Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Hari Keshavadhrita Kurma Sharira Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Vasati Dasana Shikhare Dharani Tava Lagna Shashini Kalanka Kale Vani Magna Nashityare Dharani Tabalana Vani Magna Keshavadhrita Shukara Rupa Shukara Rupa Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Hare Keshavadhrita Shukara Rupa Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Vakara Kamala Varena Kamadbhuta Singam Dalita Hiranya Kashipu Tanu Bhringam Tavakara Dhama Dalita Hiranya Kashipu Tanu Bhringam Keshavadhrita Narahari Rupa Keshavadhrita Narahari Rupa Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare 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 Keshavadhrita Narahari Rupa Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Chalayasi Vikamane Bale Madhuta Vamana Padana Khani Rajanita Jana Pavana Padana Khani Rajanita Jana Pavana वामन रूप केशवधृता वामन रूप जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे 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 केशवधृता वामन रूप जय जगदीश हरे क्षत्रिय रुधिरमये जगदपगत पापम् स्नपयसि पयसि शमित भवतापम् रुधिरमये जगदपगतपापम् स्नपयसि पयसि शमित भवतापम् हरे केशवधृता भृगुपतिरूपा भृगुपतिरूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे 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 केशवधृता भृगुपतिरूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे तरसी दीक्षुरने देवपति कमनीयम् दशमुखमौलि बलिं रमणीयम् दशमुखमौलि बलिं रमणीयम् हरि केशवधृता राम शरीरा राम शरीरा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे 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 केशवधृता राम शरीरा जय जगदीश हरे शिवपुषि विशदे वसनं जलदाभम् हलहति भीतिमिलित जमुनाभम् वसनं जलदाभम् हलहति भीतिमिलित जमुनाभम् हरि केशवधृता हलधर रूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे हरि हरि केशवधृता हलधर रूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे दस्यज्ञविधेरः श्रुति जातम् सदय हृदय दर्शित पशुघातम् यज्ञविधेरः श्रुति जातम् सदय हृदय दर्शित पशुघातम् हरे केशवधृता बुध शरीरा केशवधृता बुध Buddha Sharira, Jaya Jagadisha Hare, Jaya Jagadisha Hare, Hari Hari Keshava Sita, Buddha Sharira, Jaya Jagadisha Hare, Jaya Jagadisha Hare, Jaya Jagadisha Hare. Mlechani Vahani Dane Kalayasi Karavalam Dhumake Tumi Vakim Apikaralam Mlechani Vahani Kalayasi Kalavalam Keshavadhrita Kalki Sharira Kalki Sharira Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Hare Keshavadhrita Kalki Sharira Jaya Jagadisha Jaya Deva Kaveri Samudita Mudaram Srinu Sukhadam Subhadam Bhavasaram Jaya Deva Kaveri Samudita Mudaram Srinu Sukhadam Subhadam Keshavadrita Dasavidharupa Keshavadrita Dasavidha Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Keshavadrita Dasavidharupa Jaya Shukara Rupa Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Keshavadrita Shukara Rupa Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Dev Goswami Prabhu ki Jai, Jai Dashavatar ki Jai. So today's a special day. It is Dwadashi Day, Dhanavad Nitai Prabhu. Dhanavashe. Today is Varaha Dvadasi. Everybody, anyone want to guess what Dwadashi means? Dasha means 10. Dwa. What could Dwa mean? What number?
2.
Yes, Dwa means 2. It's the root of the Latin word. It's also the root of the English word. Dual, dua, dwa. Okay? So the concept of 2. So 2 plus 10 is 12. So Dwadashi means the 12th day of the waxing moon. This is Gora moon or Shukla moon. Okay? And on this day, in another yuga, actually, Varahadev appeared. So many millions of years ago, this occurred. No, a different cycle of 4 yugas. Yeah. So the histories that are being told in Bhagavatam are very, very ancient. And it's important to remember, I mention this a lot, but it's important to remember at the time that these scriptures were written, no culture in the world had the ability to even express the idea of a million. And generally, what's been found in the study of language is that if there's no way to express it, it's very rare that the thought comes out in the culture, obviously. Right? There's a lot of philosophers that have studied that, Wittgenstein probably most notably, but so nobody was conceiving of millions at the time when this is written. So these histories are going back millions and millions of years. But this song is called Dasha-avatar Stotram, and Dasha means what? Dasha. No, that's dual. Dasha means 10. Dasa means servitor. Dash means 10. So Dasha-avatar means 10 avatars. 10 avatars of Krishna. And avatar is a word that has become pretty common in our language now because of the movie. But avatar literally means who descends. That's what it means. And it means that the Lord is descending and playing in this realm, in the realm of our perception, in his divine pastimes. And it's said in Srimad Bhagavatam, which is the Bhagavat Purana, a very huge compilation of the play of the Lord, that in the very beginning of that Purana it says, the Lord's avatars are as numerous as there are waves in the ocean. So when we hear Dasha-avatar, it means those are 10 that we know about. But the Lord is always playing. And we have to keep that perspective, that we may be playing a part right now in the play of the Lord. And happily we will do so. Yes, please.
So is everyone an avatar of the Lord? Like as their own manifestation of?
So there's different levels of avatar, and there's different levels of potency. So in the Vedic viewpoint, Shakti means energy. And the Lord's energy is generally represented as feminine. Okay? So all Shakti ultimately is coming from Sri Radha, right? The feminine, actually everything that's manifest is ultimately the feminine energy of the Lord. And we are what's called Jiva Shakti. Jiva Shakti means the individuated soul. And there is also what's called Bahiranga Shakti, or the energy of matter. Okay, that means because ultimately, quantum physics basic physics understands this now. Everything's vibrational. Right? So all the different vibrations of energy that have its different manifestations, right? And that create a world of feeling, a world of experience, of sense perception. That's one type of Shakti. Then the experiencer is another type of Shakti, the Jiva, right, who's within that world. And then the higher Shakti is called the Swarupa Shakti, or Hladini Shakti. And that means the actual spiritual plane, the plane of reality. So the Lord's incarnations within that Bahiranga Shakti, or that matter Shakti, those are avatars of the full divinity playing within the external potency. And we as individuated souls, we're said to be in a position of achintya bheda bheda. So because we come from the Lord, just like a sun ray comes from the sun, you can say we're part of the sun. But at the same time, there's a sun ray, and it's a thing. And it's not the sun. There are different examples of that given to understand that we are what we are, and at the same time, a part of the Lord. But with the Lord himself in his full divinity, and Sri Radha herself in her full divinity can appear and play within this world, and with us as Jiva souls, and with their eternal devotees and associates. So the entire Bhagavat Purana is about that. And it's ultimately, is giving an understanding that's very, very important. that this world is not something to be left, that it's ultimately existing because of the potency of the Lord, and that ultimately everything is existing to serve that play. Everything in existence is actually serving that play, consciously or unconsciously. So it's an important thing to at least conceive of. Okay, so the Lord is appearing and playing within this world in many, many, many ways. Sometimes known, sometimes unknown. And we're kind of in this world that has a higher purpose, but sometimes our relationship with it is very selfish. And so, the process of yoga is ultimately moving you beyond that. I'm not sure how clear any of that was, or.
It was clear, and then now a million more questions.
Okay.
They'll get answered with time.
Yeah, and it's very natural. So, that's the context for this day, because ultimately what's tasteful is that we hear of the play of the Lord. What's tasteful is that we hear about our relationship with the Lord. And it requires the removal of different prejudices that may remain in our mind. We have very limited ways of thinking, and when presented with the unlimited, we kind of go, nah, no way. But that's actually that's the reaction of ignorance, ultimately, is what it's saying. When someone hears of something within the infinite and goes, oh, that's interesting, that's possible, it's said from the Vedic perspective that person is very fortunate, because they understand that actually anything is possible. So the realm of spirit is sometimes called Vaikuntha. Vaikuntha means limit. So the minute our mind is placing limitations and measuring and saying, oh, everything has to operate within these parameters, then that's said to be, you're in Bahiranga Shakti, you're in the Maya Shakti. You've now taken something that's limitless and placed it in a encasement. It has to operate like this, and I have to operate like that, and this is what it is. But when the devotee transcends that and enters into the world of limitless possibility, that's called Vaikuntha. Vaikuntha literally means no limit.
No anxiety too.
Well, Kunta means limit. That's what it means. If you say that this is as far as you can go, you've reached the Kunta. Right? So Vaikuntha literally means no limit, unlimited. Right? And so that's like this plane of consciousness that we have to move toward. And the Lord's play is very beautiful and helps us to move to that plane. Everything can be anything. And we have to understand that there's no limitation. It can be anything, but there's a conscious will that's present behind what it is and what it will become. So we're interacting with that, and then this beautiful composition by Jaya Goswami is going through a few of the beautiful plays of the Lord. Today is the day particularly Varaha Lila occurred. So we can read the translation to this, and then we can talk a little bit about Varaha Lila. I want to say the third. That's a good question. I want to say it's the third canto, but let's see. Yeah, Canto 3, it is. It's in the third canto.
Third?
Yeah. Okay, let's read the translation. First incarnation, O Keshava, O Lord of the universe, O Hari, who have assumed the form of a fish, all glories to you. You easily acted as a boat in the form of a giant fish just to give protection to the Veda, which have become immersed in the turbulent sea of devastation. So this world goes through cycles. The cycles are called pralaya, and the world is kind of wiped clean, like begun anew multiple times.
What page again is it? I'm sorry.
268.
268.
Okay, someone want to read verse 2?
O Keshava, O Lord of the universe, O Lord Hari, who have assumed the form of a tortoise. All glories to you. In this incarnation as a divine tortoise, the great Mandara mountain rests upon your gigantic back as a pivot for churning the ocean of milk. From holding up the huge mountain, a large scar-like depression is put on your back, which has become most glorious.
Okay. And this is the day of today, is verse 3. Someone want to read it? Just try it, Nitai. We got to get you learning English anyway, brother. So this is a good. You're gonna have a better vocabulary than anybody if you keep reading this. It's like there's so many words that English speakers don't know.
O Keshava, O Lord of the universe, O Lord Hari, who have assumed the form of the boar, all glories to you. The hair which had become immersed in the Bodhaka ocean at the bottom of the universe sits fixed upon the tip of your talks like a spot upon the moon.
All right, Aver Divya. That was great, man. It was perfectly fine.
He speaks good English, better than some English speaking.
O Keshava, O Lord of the universe, O Lord Hari, who have assumed the form of half man, half lion. All glories to you. Just as one can easily crush a wasp between one's fingernails, so in the same way the body of the wasp-like demon Hiranyakashipu has been ripped apart by the wonderful pointed nails on your beautiful lotus hands.
Okay, Divya.
Oh, Keshava. O Lord of the universe, O Lord Hari, who have assumed the form of a dwarf Brahman. All glories to you, O wonderful dwarf. By your massive steps, you deceive King Bali, and by the Ganges water that has emanated from the nails of your lotus feet, you deliver all living beings within this world.
O Keshava, O Lord of the universe, O Lord Hari, who have assumed the form of Bhrigupati, Parashuram. All glories to you. At Kurukshetra you bathe the earth in the rivers of blood, from the bodies of demonic kshatriyas that you have slain. The sins of the world are washed away by you, and because of you people are relieved from the blazing fire of material existence.
O Keshava, O Lord of the universe, O Lord Hari, who have assumed the form of Ramachandra, all glories to you. In the battle of Lanka, you destroy the 10-headed demon Ravana and distribute his head as a delightful offering to the presiding deities of the 10 directions, headed by Indra. This action was long desired by all of them, who were much harassed by this monster.
O Keshava, O Lord of the universe, O Lord Hari, who have assumed the form of Balaram, the wielder of the plough, all glories to you. On your brilliant white body, you wear garments the color of the fresh blue rain cloud. These garments are colored like the beautiful dark hue of the river
Hue.
Yamuna.
Hue means like a shade of a color. Hue. Yeah.
Hue of the river Yamuna, who feels great fear due to the shrinking of your plowshare.
Mm-hmm.
O Keshava, O Lord of the universe, O Lord Hari, who have assumed the form of Buddha, all glories to you, O Buddha of compassionate heart. You decry the slaughtering of poor animals performed according to the rules of Vedic sacrifice.
O Keshava, O Lord of the universe, O Lord Hari, who have assumed the form of Kalki, all glories to you. You appear like a comet and carry a terrifying sword for bringing about the annihilation of the wicked barbarian men at the end of the Kali Yuga. Jaya.
O Keshava, O Lord of the universe, O Lord Hari, who have assumed these 10 different forms of incarnation. All glories to you. O readers, please hear this hymn of the poet Jayadev, which is most excellent, an awarder of happiness, a bestower of auspiciousness, and the best thing in this dark world. Jayadev Goswami ki jai. Yeah, it's just a summary of them, but yes. This is the important thing in these last shlokas is that he's recognizing Krishna as the source of these different incarnations. Please go ahead, Divya.
O Lord Krishna, I offer my obeisances unto you, who appear in the forms of these 10 incarnations. In the form of Matsya, you rescue the Vedas, and as Kurma, you bear the Mandara mountain on your back. As Varaha, you lift the earth with your tusk today, and in the form of Nrsimha, you tear open the chest of the demon Hiranyakashipu. In the form of Vamana, you trick the demoniac king Bali by asking him for only 3 steps of land, and then you take away the whole universe from him by expanding your steps. As Parashuram, you slay all of the wicked Kshatriyas, and as Ramachandra, you conquer the Rakshasa king Ravana. In the form of Balaram, you carry a plow, with which you subdue the wicked and draw towards you the river Jamuna. As Lord Buddha, you show compassion toward all the living beings suffering in this world. And at the end of the Kali Yuga, you appear as Kalki to bewilder the malechas, degraded low-class men.
Okay.
Very nice, huh?
Okay.
Very clear.
Dashavatar.
I used to always think if the Lord is unlimited, and we're learning all about this eternal knowledge and everything. I used to think when I was a younger devotee, that how come everything is so limited in our books? There's only 10. There must be unlimited incarnations of the Lord.
I mean, it says that in the
And-
very beginning of the Bhagavatam that
Yeah.
there are unlimited incarnations.
Yeah, things that we don't even know in this
Yeah.
sphere, this planetary system. It's very limited here. We're a very small universe. So there's so many different things. I mean, I can't even read all these books, what to speak of, the other universes and all the knowledge that is available out there about the Lord and his incarnations and expansions and
Activities.
activities.
Yeah.
It's inconceivable, right?
Yeah.
That's the word. Inconceivable.
Yeah.
Which
So I can try to, maybe everybody can jump in, but I can try to recount the story of Varahadev. And sort of you can say, you can go all the way back to the play of the 4 Kumaras. But in a nutshell, yeah, Jaya and Vijay. In a nutshell, there were gatekeepers of the Vaikuntha realm, and 4, you can say, ascetic souls who chose to be in the form of young children as a representation of their innocence, wanted to see Lord Vishnu, and they were prohibited from doing so by these gatekeepers. Jaya and Vijaya were their names. And the devotees, these Kumaras, these 4 saints, became disturbed with these gatekeepers and cursed them.
And they were little children, and they always wanted to remain children,
They kept in that form.
like 5-year-olds.
Kumara literally means like a little boy. So the 4 Kumaras, and they cursed them, and then the Lord came very beautifully. Such a beautiful description of him when he comes upon the scene, holding the lotus flower and this amazing smell, like pervading the whole place, and tulasi, and his eyes like very mercifully beholding everyone with a smile. And the guards are like, oh, we made a terrible mistake, and please be merciful upon us. And the Lord said, my devotees have given you their will, and it's good. But you can go down to the plane of matter, and you can be there for, how many lifetimes as a devotee?
7, or 3 is demons, right?
Something like that.
Something like that.
Yeah.
It was kind of like reverse.
Like you can be there for 7 lifetimes as my devotee, or you can be there for 3 lifetimes as my enemies for the play. And they're like, okay, 3 lifetimes as an enemy, that sounds shorter, so let's do the enemy.
They took the shorter route and became demons.
And it's a very interesting conception, because, it's helpful to understand that even sometimes the negative is coming from the positive, or coming to serve the positive. And, that even the players in the play who are the bad guys are still possibly worshipable. It's a whole nother realm of good and bad, because we see good and bad as these absolutes, but it's actually relative within something that's all good. And that perspective on reality is important to sort of conceive of. So Jaya is one of the guards, becomes Hiranyaksha. He's a son of Diti. There's a whole progenitor story of different beings and different races and everything being populated throughout the universe. And he is extremely powerful. In Vedic mystic yoga, there's a conception of anima and laghima, that as you start to attain to the fundament, being able to manipulate the fundamental vibrations of reality, you can cause yourself to become extremely big or extremely small. And they're all just there really is actually no big and small, it's all relative, and you can manipulate that. So that's the concept of anima and laghima, right? Like this big and small. Biggest of the biggest, smallest of the smallest, it's all just the spectrum. Like, if you guys ever seen any kind of like mind trips where it's like this huge world and then it's all in a snow globe or something like that, you know what I mean? And it's all just like, the whole universe is actually a little dot on the end of something else that's really actually big, and like, like what is big, what is small, right? When it's all energy. So a yogi can actually, like a truly accomplished yogi, can actually start to manipulate that. And Hiranyaksha is incredibly potent and powerful, and he's making himself like huge, making himself small. He's at the point where he can take planets and knock them out of orbit and do like incredible things. And Dandavad, Damodar. Yeah. So the Earth planet is personified as Bhudevi. She's considered a goddess, and she's knocked out of her orbit and, dropping to, what's called the bottom of the universe, which is an ocean. It's called the Garbhodaka Ocean, within this particular universe, of which there are many. So the Earth has fallen in there, And the demigods are praying and praying and going like, oh man, this like incredibly powerful being is like coming and just wreaking havoc within the universe, Hiranyaksha. And they're praying to the Lord, praying to the Lord, praying to the Lord, saying like, help us. Which is very interesting, because we all reach a point in our life where even if we can see our own fault, we can't see our way out of it. You know, there's a point where I'm not sure what to do. I don't know where to go. I don't know how I can do this. And to reach this point where you finally turn to the source, that's an authentic point in life. And no matter how smart you are, you can't think of everything. The world is not yours to manipulate. And there has to be some relationship with something higher than yourself. So these demigods are incredibly powerful beings, able to see huge spectrums of energy in the universe that we cannot see. And they're still just like helpless. We can't do anything to stop this. This guy is too powerful. And so Lord Brahma, who's the creator of this universe, he's praying to the Lord, to Lord Vishnu, who's the source and maintainer of everything in existence. And as he's praying, something comes out of his nose. This to me is like so wonderful. Like the Lord comes out of his nose. Huh? No, Lord Brahma. Yeah.
But who comes out of his nose?
Varahadev. Yeah. So the Lord comes in such a form. And it's kind of amazing and wonderful. Srila Guru Maharaj once said, if you ever meet the Lord, you're going to be surprised. It's not going to be something where you're just like, oh yeah, oh wow, you kind of look like God. You're God. No, it's like you're going to be blown away. So he appeared in that form, and then he began to grow. Bigger and bigger and bigger. And they could see that he was taking the form of like a boar. And they're just like, what is this like wonderful creature that's like manifesting before us, you know? But very auspicious and very beautiful. And he goes down to the Garbhodaka ocean and he plucks the earth out of the flooded and fallen state that it's in and returns it on the, like kind of in his tusk. The planet is there. And he's returning it like that. And then, of course, there's a wonderful scene. Everyone's, showering flowers. And then there's a wonderful scene where Hiranyaksha comes and is like, okay, you must be kind of powerful. That was pretty good. Like, who are you? And then there's like these, I don't want to like do that injustice, but there's this very beautiful like exchange between the Lord and Hiranyaksha, where Hiranyaksha is like full of ego. And you could say in like a certain way, in like this beautiful Sanskrit, but he's basically talking smack in like these Sanskrit shlokas. And he's going like, hey, that was pretty good, but like, you understand you're messing with the wrong guy. Like right now, nobody can really like contest with me, and I mean, why? Who are you? Like, anyways, he's saying different things, and there's a really beautiful back and forth. And the Lord is like hearing this and like smilingly, and there's a back and forth, and then he's fighting with Hiranyaksha. And Hiranyaksha is very powerful, and they're fighting, and the Lord, drops his weapon, and Hiranyaksha is like, going like, yeah, well, listen, I understand you're trying to fight with me, and you're doing pretty good, so why don't you just like, I'll just stop for a second, go get your weapon again, go get your club, and like, these kind of like insulting things. And then, finally the demigods are just like, please, Lord, like this is like too much. Please just put an end to this. And then Varahadev touches him once behind his ear, just like this like strike right behind the ear, and that's it. Hiranyaksha is killed. It's like that in Kung Fu. There's like this touch where if you do it properly, if you're like the right master, just touch once behind the ear. It's called dinmuk. There's dinmuk, and that's it. It's over. And so it's actually described that Varahadev touches Hiranyaksha like this. And that's the end of the fight, and Bhudevi's returned to her position. And the world is returned to its equilibrium. And then, of course, the demigods are showering flowers, and there's like this, you could say, this glory that's coming from the heavens upon the Lord. So that's my attempt to worship the incarnation of Varahadev. But all these things are very wonderful, and at the same time, just a small portion of the potency of the Lord. And there's a beautiful part of Bhagavad Gita which we'll come to, where the Lord is describing the different potencies within the universe and within consciousness and so many things. And then he says, but what is the need for further elaboration? All of this is but a spark of my he goes, this entire universe is but a spark of my splendor. So it's like we can conceive a little bit of the vastness of this universe, but not really. Like we're not really truly understanding it. And to understand that this entire universe is just a spark within infinity. That's kind of amazing to conceive of. And the wish of the devotee, a small jiva within this little universe, to connect to the Lord. On one level, you think about that, it's like impossible. But the other thing that, Mahaprabhu is telling us is that the Lord is the Lord of love. And love is much more than any type of massive power or splendor. So you can say, in one sense, even this universe is a little spark within infinity. But the Lord is the Lord of love. And a loving heart is much more attractive and outstanding than millions and millions of universes, is what it said. So for the love of his devotee, that's everything. And smallness or bigness, animan, lagima, it's all the same. Love is the essential, you can say, food of God. He loves the love of his devotees. So hopefully we're all properly moving in that direction. And to, remember the play of the Lord in a mood of joy is a very important part of the practice of being a devotee. In a mood of full faith and understanding. Understanding no limit reality. No limit reality. There's one story of Narada Muni who comes to a brahmana and he comes to a shoemaker. And in that society, a person who makes shoes, like dealing with leather, means they're dealing with the skin of dead animals. And at that time, the society was considering that's a low job and a low-born person. And the celestial traveler, Narada Muni, he comes to a brahmana who's considered like very learned, very clean. And he says, I'm going to see Lord Vishnu. What do you want me to ask him? And the brahmana says, can you ask him, like, when am I going to go to Vaikuntha? And the Lord says, yeah. Narada Muni says, yeah, I'll ask him that for you. And then he comes to the shoemaker and he says, I'm going to see Lord Vishnu in Vaikuntha. What can I ask him for you? And the shoemaker's like, whoa, I'm not worthy. Don't, just like give my obeisance. And then Narada Muni says, no, I want to ask him something from you. And he says, can you ask him, will I ever see my Lord? Will I ever see him? Will I ever see my Lord? And Narada Muni says, yes, I'll ask him for that. I'll ask him. So then he comes back and he tells the brahmana, he comes back and he meets the brahmana and he says, and the brahmana says, you saw Lord Vishnu? He says, yes, I saw Lord Vishnu. And he says, what was he doing? He said, oh, he was putting an elephant through the eye of a needle. And the guy's like, what? And then he says, well, did you ask him when I was going to go there? And he said, yes. He said, you'll come to see him in 1,000 lifetimes. And the guy's like, 1,000? Me? Like, I'm like right there. Like, I don't even believe you. I don't think you actually saw him. It's like elephant through the eye of a needle. Like, what? So that's his attitude. And then he goes to the shoemaker and the same question, right? Oh, what was my Lord doing? And he said, oh, he was putting an elephant through the eye of a needle. And he says, my Lord is the wonder of wonders. And he says, will you ever see him? And he says, yes, he will see you in 1,000,000 lifetimes. And he says, oh, only 1,000,000 lifetimes? Like, how could I be this fortunate? And then Narada Muni says, you will see him at the end of this lifetime. So we have to enter the plane of faith, the plane of actual reality, where there is no limit and there's no measurement, these small judgments in this tiny world that we find ourselves encased in our consciousness. It's actually not reality. There's an infinite world of love and loving play that's full of taste. And that world is this world. And it's all worlds. But we have to change our consciousness. Actually, the prison we find ourselves in is a conscious prison. And we're the gatekeeper of our own prison. We're the one reinforcing the bars. Only us, Guru Maharaj says, if I don't lie to myself, then no one can lie to me. We're the only ones who can actually keep ourselves here. So, the process of spiritual life is a very intense and individual process. And by the grace of the Lord, some high souls have come and given us some understanding and some possibility of connection by their grace. So we have to make sure we're not holding ourselves in. And then we have to have some reciprocation from that side for our service. Hare Krishna. Okay, Jaya Varaha Dev ki Jaya. Hare Krishna. Okay, thoughts, comments, questions, Prabhuji.
May I say two things?
Yeah, please.
So the first thing is about that pastimes of Narada Muni and the Brahmana and the shoemaker. I remember I heard this story when I was first getting acquainted with Krishna
Oh,
consciousness
really?
in Ecuador.
In Ecuador, okay.
But Govinda Maharaja was sharing this story.
Uh-huh.
And while I was hearing the pastimes, it sounded like fantasy. Like the elephant through the needle.
Yeah.
And then at the end, he made a comment that actually impacted me. And he said, he can do anything. Otherwise, how can we explain that a little tiny seed can become a huge tree? And that gave me some faith. Wow, it's not very an exaggeration that he could pass an elephant through a needle.
Yeah.
We just need to take a look to the trees.
The planet is
Yeah.
in space.
Yeah. So I'm happy that this program.
But that
reminded
somehow
me
that
of
example, yeah, it's a great example. And it's a powerful story. There's another story that I find to be powerful in terms of acquainting ourselves with infinite possibility. Because it's one thing to say Vaikuntha, it's another thing to really start to try to live within that world of infinite possibility. And Guru Maharaj actually, one of the wonderful definitions he gave, because, you know, one of the processes of devotion, it said, is of surrender is humility, donya. And Guru Maharaj gave this incredible definition of humility. He says, humility means to be open to infinite possibility. Infinite possibility is humility. Like if you look at the entire spectrum of reality, everything that you can conceive of what that spectrum of possibility is that's coming towards you is nothing but a tiny little sliver of what the actual spectrum of possibility is, right? To like be able to conceive of that and to be open to it all. So to know that whatever you're conceiving of what the future can hold is actually a little sliver of what the future actually can hold. And to be open to everything that you haven't conceived of yet. That's humility. Like this true posture of openness toward infinity. I'll share another story. There's an amazing story of Sandipani Muni, just briefly, because he's meditating on the concept of time, because time is very weird. And so there's a very famous verse in Gita that was quoted by Oppenheimer when he sort of designed this critical mass and the coming together of uranium that produced this gigantic explosion. And he was a very learned man, and he quoted this shloka when he saw that explosion, because it's so like terrifying, to actually see that this thing really just goes. And it's this, Krishna says, time I am the destroyer of worlds. And Oppenheimer quoted that verse from the Gita, Kalo asmi. Kalo asmi. Kala means time. I am time, Krishna says. So Sandipani Muni is like meditating on time, and he's just like, Lord, please show me your form as time. I want to understand like what this is. So he's meditating. This guy's like a super accomplished yogi, like incredibly accomplished yogi. So he's in this like very small kutir in the forest, and he's just meditating on this and saying, please reveal this to me. And as he's meditating, the floods of devastation come to the earth, and he's tossed in these floods, but never dying, just experiencing the terror of the devastation. And then the devastation subsides, and he's meditating again, and then the devastation comes again. And it's like these years are just flashing by, yugas are eclipsing, and he's like going through this like expansion and destruction of the universe. The suns are coming and exploding, and the stars are, the planets are coming in and out of existence, and he's just like, oh, and then again, boom, he finds himself in a flood of devastation, these huge waves, and he's just like, oh, and he's like, enough, like, enough, and then he's in this wave, and he comes and breaches this wave, and he sees baby Krishna on a leaf sucking his toe, and he pulls his toe out of his mouth and smiles to the Muni, and the Sandipani Muni's just like, that's the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. And then he wakes up, and he's in his kutir, and he's like, and no time has elapsed. Oh, sorry, that was right. It's Markandeya Rishi, not Sandipani Muni. Sandipani Muni is Krishna's guru, but it's Markandeya Rishi, yeah. So that is like his experience of time. It's just like, it's super real, it's super long, it's devastating, it's this and that and that and that. And baby Krishna's at the back of it, and he's beautiful. And then actually no time went by. And you're like, there you go, there's time for you. I know. Yeah.
Like when you're still in Exodus now, and she sees
universes. Yes. Yeah, there's another diva is
He makes her forget what she even saw.
she's like
She's his mother.
Krishna's a baby and he's eating dirt, and she's just like, "Hey, open your mouth, let's get that out." You know, you always have to do that with kids because they're just like, you know, they put everything in their mouth. And so she opens up his mouth to get the dirt, and she's looking inside, and she sees universes inside of his mouth.
Krishna has a mother?
Because Krishna appeared on this planet, and he has mother who is in that. That's a type of relationship with God. That's called Vatsalya Rasa. So rasa means like the food of the soul, the feeling of relationship. And so he has this relationship with this wonderful soul. She's Yamuna Devi, and I mean it's not Yamuna, Yashoda Devi, and yeah. So that's like one of the pastimes where she's like taking the dirt out of his mouth, and she's like universes, you know. Hare Krishna, all the infinite, but ultimately everything is moving toward bhava and rasa, relationship and taste and consciousness. We have to let go and trust. We're moving into something so wonderful and greater than ourselves. And if we try to judge it with the small mind of our own experiences, that will prejudice us and limit us. Okay, Jai Varaha Avatar Ki Jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande, Hari Bol. Then we can sing again, short Hari Hari.
Yes.
Divya, you want to sing the Madhusura Marsh? Short Hari Hari.
I don't know the short anything.
It's
but
the four, the let's see.
I try to do the short.
Yeah,
Finding the phrase
it's
and I
Shri-
screw that up.
Shri, just after Jai Rupa Sanatan, then you sing Hare Krishna.
Hari Hara Nama Krishna Yadavaya Nama Yadavaya Manavaya Keshavaya Namaha Gopala Govindaram Sri Madhusudana Hari Gopinath Madana Mohan
Bhakti Samar Govinda Goswami Maharaj ki jai.
Jai.
Jai Om Vishnu Pashid Bhakti Ratna Sri Bhakti Goswami Maharaj ki jai.
Jai.
Shri Rupanuga Guru Varga ki jai.
Jai.
Jai Shri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat ki jai.
Jai.
Saraswat Markan Acharya Vrinda ki jai. Jai Koladip Dham ki jai.
Ki jai.
Jai Sri Varaha Dvadasi ki jai.
Jai.
Jai all the devotees. Ki jai.
Jai, all the beautiful stories.
Mahaprasad ki jai.
Jai.
Bhagavad Puran ki jai. Govinda
Jai.
Darshan Prabhu ki
Jai.
jai. And also the devotees online. Ki jai.
ki jai.
Krishna Mohini Vivi, Vima Krishna Prabhu, Madhu Gopal Prabhu, Madhu Gopal Prabhu, and some other beautiful devotees also. Dandavat.